Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a great and wonderful day. Well, here we go. Saturday. Actually, Friday. Friday. We went out to the Spencer's Pro event out in Wooster, Ohio. So, we got to cross into the Ohio State. So, it's a long, lonely road. So I got the truck. It was 40 degrees all weekend. So glad it did, and it also rained. So glad we did as much as we wouldn't mind riding, but about 5 hours, almost 6 hours. We took the F-250. And this came out good. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to, but it worked out as we buried my 80-year-old mother on Wednesday. So unfortunately she's gone. So we had a funeral and burial on Wednesday. Friday I left for this. So it's a good weekend to get away. The tunnel. Yeah. To get to head out in the tunnels. We got tunnel vision. So, anyway. So consider we had the grave circumstances on Wednesday. Even better, I was able to go to this. Hey, $100 for the event. The $350 for the hotel. So why not? So we head out on Friday because they had a meet and greet on Friday. So we want to go there because, well, introvert. Anyway, so we went to that. That was neat. A Schleeball Ascension. So I got to see that place. That was neat. Kind of get to see a little bit. Get to know people a little bit. And then Saturday was the main event. Food was good. The location was good. So we were happy. We were glad we went. Finally got to meet Mike Andes, which was great because it was in the same hotel. As I was headed over to the event, walk out of my room, and boom, there's Mike Andes. So need to finally meet Mike Andes, hear him talk. And that was neat. And of course, meet Sean and Savannah. So it was good. I enjoyed it. Glad I went. But also glad to be back home. So, did I learn something? I sure hope. I think I did. So, it was a good time. I don't know, ever since you're a kid, I love tunnels. I don't know what it is with tunnels. But I was trying to speed up because I had the GoPro set for time lapse. For whatever reason, it decided to do a video. So I maxed out my 128 gigabyte, I think, card to have like 3.5 hours of road. 3.5 hours of turnpike. It's like, oh, good grief. And this was kind of funky. I never had a closed tunnel. The tunnel's closed doing work, so you had to cross over the wrong way into the other tunnel. I always wondered what they would do if they had to. This is kind of freaky going the wrong way in a tunnel. Just added to the adventure. It's all about the adventure. So, kind of weird going the wrong way in a tunnel. But tunnels are still cool. They're different. Not something you get to drive through, at least me. And I got to drive through tunnels probably a handful of times in my life. So, it's well worth it. So, that's what we wound up doing Saturday. We scooted out in the evening and took the trek back. But actually wasn't too bad on the way back. I think I did it in 5 hours. So, traffic was a little less, I guess. I don't know. But we made the trip. We made it home. So here we be. But definitely a neat trip. This is the second time I've been to Ohio. And second time by myself. First time to meet Mr. McStash. stay with him. See Circleville, which was cool. Got to hang with him for a weekend. Now this time, so second time in Ohio by myself. So first time I was on a motorcycle, this time I was in the truck, so we just balanced out, I guess. So, yeah, well. It's a neat trip. Hopefully we learned something. And either way, it was good to get away, considering the grave circumstances. So, yeah, it's nice to get away. And, kind of see something a little different. So, what's great while I was out there, I bought stove parts from Lehman's Hardware. I ain't sure what the official name is, but Lehman's Hardware. So I was very happy to be able to get out and see Lehman's, and it is definitely an experience. It was really worthwhile. So if you ever get a chance, go out and see Lehman's. One of the things that was kind of struck me, I got taught business by my dad, who dropped out in ninth grade. He was a nice school dropout. You could do that back in the 50s, I guess. Education wasn't the big thing. And it was interesting hearing that even though Dad uses different words for it, it's interesting that some of the concepts. And funny, being around Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I think I'd be used to seeing horse and buggies, but, it's still something to see all these horse and buggies the whole trip. So, got to see a lot. I think this was on the way to, because this was evening, so I think it was on the way to Lehman's. I kept passing horse and buggies. That was kind of cool. Anyway, but you kind of expect to hear something new, something exciting, something different. But it's funny how many of the same business principles Mike Andes talk about, and Sean Spencer, and a lot of the other ones, or a lot of the stuff that Dad kind of taught me. And even though they have fancier words, there's marketing terms and all that, it's still the same concepts. And it's funny, I don't know. You think, all these years later, you kind of think you always look for the next big thing, the simpler way, that light bulb that just makes everything so simple, everything comes together. But really, it's a lot of the same stuff. And one thing that I kind of find amused, Mike Andes was big on the customer service aspect. And one thing Dad always harped on us, I get a whole lot of trouble if I don't answer my phone. If he finds out that somebody called us and we didn't answer our phone, I get my butt handed to me. And again, me at my age, what I've been around, things seem a little different because they're used to everybody just leave a message, maybe I'll call. And now everybody's AI. Everybody wants chatbots. Nobody wants to do that anymore. But one concept that Dad always did about answering the phone. And even if it's just a pick up, say, I'm sorry, I'm occupied right now. This needs my attention. I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Make sure you call back in 15 minutes. You do what you say. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know why, but that kind of hit me because Dad was always big on that. You have to answer your phone 24/7. You have to answer your phone. Whether you have an answer, whether you have to get the answer, whatever, you have to answer your phone. So, I thought that was kind of one big thing that they kind of harped on is customer service. Whether you can answer the question, whether you deal with it right now, you have to answer your phone and you have to let them know when you're going to get back and make sure you follow up with them. The lack of follow up kills a lot. So, the other thing I like the pay for performance. There we go. Sorry, it took me a while. Pay for performance that Mike Andes talks about. Here it's cool. Got to see Sean Spencer, kind of pull up the starstruckenness. Anyway, but the pay performance is interesting. Again, Dad always taught the same concept, but he used different terminology for it. Remember, right? He calls it like piecemeal or whatever, but I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I was expecting a little more, kind of surprising information, but a lot of it, although different terminology, was stuff I've been taught, which I thought was kind of cool. So, anyway, here's a little bit on my trip this weekend. Little different as usual, because, well, there you go. It's me. I'm everywhere. So, hopefully you have a great one for week. And we'll see you around somewhere. And, of course, after I stop recording, I think of something else, but that's pretty typical in my life. Always think of stuff after the fact, and also once I get done editing and upload it, that's when I think of other stuff. And then when I watch over it, I think of even more stuff. But anyway, one of the other things that I thought was kind of surprising, being the fact that they are all in social media, they all have YouTube channels, of course, they all have this community and stuff. You kind of think that they would kind of push that, oh, you have to have a YouTube channel, and here's how you do it, and here's how you get it going. Or, same way with, Facebook or Instagram and all this. But I was actually quite surprised as there were a lot more muted on that. There were a lot more on not everything translates to a good YouTube video. Not everything translates to social media. And again, it goes back to what Dad's been teaching us for years is about networking. You get people face to face. You have that personal connection, which is lost today. Everybody's big on you got to have social media. You got to have all this, YouTube and Facebook. But they're really big on the personal. You gain customers by personal reach, personal eye contact, personal meetings. I thought that was kind of interesting. Again, something I taught from my 80-year-old father, who grew up in the 40s, and you just think that you would hear much more on, if you're not on social media, you don't exist. If you don't have this, you don't exist. Really, I was amazed at how simple their concepts were, and how much the stuff that I've been taught was just kind of reinforced. So, there you go. Okay, we'll see if anything else comes up. It's quite possible, but we'll see.